What if everything you were taught about life, about who you are, what you can become, and how this world works, was designed to keep you small? What if the true reason you felt stuck, misunderstood, or as if something bigger was calling you, is because there's a buried truth inside you that's finally ready to rise? Stop. Just breathe. Deeply, slowly, because what you're about to remember isn't entertainment. It's not a trend, a technique, or a motivational speech. This is ancient, timeless, forbidden, even, and knowing so powerful that it was hidden, buried beneath religion, smothered by politics, erased by systems, and ridiculed by science. Because once you know it, you can no longer be controlled. Once you feel it, nothing stays the same. This isn't for everyone. Most people aren't ready. But if you're still listening, if something inside you feels like it's awakening as these words reach you, then you are not most people. You're remembering who you are, and you were meant to. There's a reason you've always felt different, like you were born with an invisible truth that others couldn't see, like you were meant for something deeper. That quiet whisper inside you, that sense that the world around you is just a surface, a shadow of something more real beneath, isn't your imagination. It's your soul remembering a truth it once knew. Long before history was written by victors, before temples were built on stolen ground, before kings declared themselves divine and laws turned into cages, there was a land where sacred knowledge was protected like fire in the cold. Ancient Egypt, but not the Egypt in textbooks or tourist photos, not the pyramids they show you. This was the hidden Egypt, the Egypt behind the veil. A civilization where truth wasn't spoken in crowds, but passed from master to student, in silence, in vibration, in energy, in the dark chambers of temples not meant for the public, away from power-hungry rulers. There existed a circle of awakened ones. They didn't preach. They didn't rule. They remembered. They understood something the world still forgets. That reality is not solid. Matter is not fixed. What we call the physical world is nothing more than condensed energy, vibration held together by thought, intention, and consciousness. They knew the great secret, that the universe doesn't respond to words. It responds to frequency, to the vibration you emit when no one's watching, to the silent emotion behind your smile, to the intention behind your thoughts. That the outer world is just a reflection of the inner one, and more importantly, they knew how to shape it. The universe is not something that happens to you. You are not a pawn moved by fate or luck or divine punishment. You are a transmitter, a mirror, a creator. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every belief you hold is vibrating out into the invisible web that connects all things. And what comes back to you is shaped by what you're sending. Your entire reality is a response. But you were never taught this. Instead, you were trained to live from the outside in, to chase, to fear, to compete, to obey. You were programmed to forget that power doesn't come from status, money, or validation. It comes from energetic alignment, from becoming coherent within yourself, from returning to your center, where thought, emotion, and soul speak the same language. And now, something ancient is waking up in you, because once upon a time, there was a teacher, not a man of religion, not a king or prophet, a consciousness that carried the original codes. Across cultures, he had many names. In Egypt, he was Thoth. In Greece, Hermes. In other traditions, he was a glowing presence, a divine scribe, a whisper behind the veil. His purpose wasn't to rule, but to transmit. He gave the keys, not to the masses, but to the prepared, to those who had purified their heart, mastered their mind, and were ready to be reborn. He taught that reality is mental, that the universe itself is a great mind, that what you believe becomes what you live, that every emotion is energy in motion, that thoughts create form, that your vibration isn't just spiritual fluff, it is the literal foundation of your reality. And he taught one more thing, something most people never realize. The world of form is not fixed. It is rhythm. Everything moves in cycles. Everything vibrates in pairs. Where there is light, there will be shadow. Where there is love, there is also fear. Where there is joy, the possibility of sorrow follows, not as punishment, but as balance. This is the pendulum, the secret movement behind your emotions, your relationships, your finances, your fate. Most people get caught in the swing. They feel good when things go well and crash when they don't. They believe they're cursed or lucky, but in truth, they're just unconscious, riding the rhythm without realizing they can step off. They can return to the center. They can become still in the middle of the storm. This is what the masters called mental neutralization, the ability to remain unmoved by illusion, to feel the waves, but not be drowned by them, to see through both success and failure, and realize that neither defines you, because you are not what happens. You are the one who creates what happens. This is the beginning of freedom. But here is where it gets even deeper, because once you start vibrating with intention, once you align your thoughts, your emotions, your actions with clarity and inner truth, you start influencing the field around you. Without saying a word, you shift energy. People feel different around you. Spaces open. Doors appear. Not because you force them, but because reality bends to coherence. It follows energy, not effort. This is the forgotten power, the one they never taught you, the one they feared you would remember. And here's the most shocking part. Everything in your life is a mirror. Every pattern you repeat, every person you attract, every emotional loop you feel stuck in, it's not random. It's resonance. It's feedback from the field. It's life showing you what you're vibrating. So you can either repeat it unconsciously or change it consciously. This is the law of cause and effect, not in some cosmic moral way, but as an energetic principle. You are not being punished. You are being shown. And if you're brave enough to trace the emotion back to the thought back to the belief back to the moment it was created, you will find the key. You will find where the illusion began, and you will be able to change everything. This is not a quick fix. It's not wishful thinking or a new age trend. This is the ancient way, the sacred science of vibration, intention, and resonance, the true mechanics of reality. And it begins with awareness. Once you stop blaming the world, you begin shaping it. Once you stop reacting, you begin creating. Once you stop waiting for someone to save you, you become the one who transforms everything. Now ask yourself, Are you ready to stop surviving and start remembering? Are you ready to take responsibility for your energy, your frequency, your reality? Because if you are, then nothing from this point on will be the same. You have remembered what they tried to make you forget. You are not a victim. You are not broken. You are not here to be ruled. You are vibration. You are consciousness. You are the hidden force behind the curtain. And now, it's time to create as the ancients once did, not from fear, but from truth, not from illusion, but from power, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. Breathe again and begin. You wake up late, your body heavy, your mind foggy. The day has already begun without you, and you feel behind. But this moment didn't just come out of nowhere. It has roots. If you trace it back, you'll see you slept late. You were on your phone long past midnight, scrolling through things that didn't feed your soul. Why? Because you were feeling anxious, unsettled, restless. Why the anxiety? Because earlier, you had a conversation that shook you, a disagreement, a moment that left your heart bruised. But why did it affect you so deeply? Because for weeks now, you've been carrying something unspoken, something unresolved, something you chose not to face. One moment built on the last. One emotion fed another. One small choice created the next chain in the pattern. And now, here you are. This is what most people never stop to notice. That every moment we experience is not random. It is connected to something that came before. Every present moment is the effect of a previous cause. And everything you're doing, feeling, thinking, choosing right now is creating a future effect. This is not superstition. This is the law of cause and effect. It is silent, constant, unavoidable. Most people live only in the realm of effects. They react, they complain, they feel powerless. They don't realize that they are not just inside a story, they are writing it. Even in the moments when they feel stuck or trapped, they are shaping their path with their energy, thoughts, choices, beliefs. Every complaint is a vibration. Every worry is an instruction to the universe. Every repeated thought becomes a pattern, and those patterns begin to solidify into life. You are not here to live as a victim of your past or of outside forces. You are here to remember that you are a powerful being with the ability to create, change, shift, and align. But to do that, you must stop thinking like a pawn in someone else's game. You must start living like the master of your own reality. This doesn't mean controlling everything. It means understanding that everything begins inside you. Every thought is a cause. Every emotion you dwell in is a cause. Every belief you continue to feed, every story you tell yourself, every quiet action you take, even the ones no one sees, are all causes. They ripple into the world around you. They begin to shape events. At first, it's subtle, but over time, it becomes solid. It becomes your experience. When you begin to see this, it can feel empowering, but it can also feel overwhelming. Because once you accept it, you can no longer blame chance or fate. You lose the right to say, life just happens to me. Instead, you begin to see that life responds to you, that the universe is not ignoring you, it's echoing you. It's reflecting the energy you are holding. And that means you are always creating, even when you're unaware of it. Now breathe. Feel that truth settle in. Gently look at your life, not with judgment, but with curiosity. Ask yourself, how much of what I'm living right now was built from my own past energy, my thoughts, my habits, my choices, and deeper still, what am I creating today with my energy, with my words, with my emotions? Because every choice, big or small, is a seed, and seeds don't stay seeds. They grow. The ancient teachings that were once hidden, protected, and even forbidden to the public reveal this deeper truth. You are not a random spark in the chaos of existence. You are a co-creator. You are not a bystander. You are a participant. And the moment you remember this, you start living differently. You begin to walk with purpose. You become intentional. But this path of creation isn't about force. It isn't about wishing for things and waiting. It's about alignment. And alignment comes from understanding the two great forces within you, the twin energies that exist in all of creation, the masculine and the feminine, not male and female as gender, but as energies, forces of movement and stillness, action and reception, direction and surrender. The masculine energy in you is what acts. It is the force that says go, that takes the first step, that makes decisions, that initiates motion. It's the flame that sparks creation. But that spark alone isn't enough. The feminine energy in you is what receives. It holds space. It nurtures. It welcomes. It allows time for growth. It is the soil where the seed is planted, the womb where ideas grow into form. These two forces are not opposites. They are complements. And creation happens only when they are in harmony. Too much masculine energy, and you push, you struggle, you burn out. Too much feminine energy, and you wait, you stall, you dream, but never do. Real transformation requires both. Movement with stillness, decision with intuition, fire with water. This inner balance is what the ancients called the invisible marriage. It is not about relationships with others. It is about union within the self. When your doing is guided by your inner knowing, when your listening is followed by aligned action, when your intuition and your logic dance together, you begin to move through life with grace. You stop fighting. You start flowing. This is the secret behind all creation. And yet most people spend their lives either forcing things or waiting endlessly for something to magically happen. They swing between extremes. They live out of balance. And that imbalance causes energy to get stuck. You feel tired, confused, blocked. You wonder why things aren't working, not realizing your own internal forces are at odds. But when your inner masculine and feminine come into balance, you don't just feel better. You begin to create differently. You become a living conduit through which ideas take shape. You stop chasing. You stop controlling. And instead, you start co-creating with the universe. This sacred union is already inside you. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to find it in a temple or a teacher. It's yours, right now, in your breath, in your body, in your being. This is what the ancient alchemists knew, that the real gold wasn't physical. It was spiritual. It was vibrational. It was the inner transformation of energy. True alchemy is not about turning lead into gold. It's about turning fear into wisdom, turning anger into compassion, turning pain into purpose. It's about looking into the darkest parts of yourself, the ones you usually avoid, and asking, what can I learn here? And when you ask that, something begins to change. The energy that once hurt you begins to heal you. The emotion that once held you down begins to rise as light. This is what the forbidden books, the secret texts, the lost wisdom tried to protect. Not because it was dangerous, but because it was powerful. Because the moment someone realizes they can transform themselves from within, no one can control them anymore. Not governments, not dogma, not systems. They become sovereign, free, awake. That's what the Kybalion represents. The teachings within it were never meant to be just read. They were meant to be lived. The 7 Hermetic principles are not theories. They are instructions. They show you how to shape energy, how to shift your vibration, how to live in rhythm with the laws of the universe instead of struggling against them. And now you've heard this, and that means something. It means you're ready, because these teachings don't arrive by luck. You're not here by accident. You were pulled here by something deeper in you, a vibration, a question, a longing that asked, isn't there more? And now, the answer is showing up in front of you. But this answer comes with a responsibility. You can't unknow this. You can't unsee it. You can no longer pretend that you are powerless, because you are not. You are the artist, the author, the architect of your experience. Even when the world seems chaotic, even when things feel out of control, you still have the power to choose your frequency. You still have the ability to respond from alignment, to create from presence, to shift from within. So now the question becomes, what will you do with this power? Will you return to sleep? Or will you rise? Will you keep living on autopilot? Or will you take the reins of your life? This is your moment. The veil has lifted. The door is open. You stand at a threshold between your old story and the new one you are ready to write. One built not on fear, not on habit, not on imitation, but on conscious creation. And if your soul feels it, if something in you is saying, yes, then say it out loud, or write it somewhere you'll see it again. A declaration, a choice, a seed. I received this calling, and I'm ready to rewrite my reality, because this isn't the end. This is the beginning. You carry the key, and now you begin to turn it.